Timbersaw, but it's clear that they're not infallible when it comes to the gameplay as well, Misery. There were slip-ups in that Game 4 and that Game 5 for the Grand Final.
I think potentially, you know, you mentioned the loss in the best-of-5 Grand Final last Slam, and it could still be in the body of Falcons a little bit, like getting rid of the sickness perhaps for this Grand Final. Who knows? Maybe they're not full confident Falcons like we're used to seeing. We have a little bit of showing here from that exact Game 4 here, where you know, they end up catching the Morphling and they know he has no buyback because they click his items and they see he just bought a few fresh Satanic. Here we have the Rapier on the Gyrocopter, right? So this is really uncharacteristic for Falcons to try to all in a situation like this instead of just, for example, taking two sides and playing the map. And they end up, you know, going for this throne here with the Gyrocopter, Rapier, and as we know, and if you've seen this game, he ended up dying and giving it away to Pure here, and that was the Game 4. If they had won this game, they would have just closed out the Grand Final in classic Falcons manner, but instead they end up going for this all-in play, and maybe that type of move can shake your confidence moving on forward. We'll have to see if Yakulpros can you know, shake it up.
Out a Rapier.
Yeah, I would say that this was very uncharacteristic for Falcons to do this. And they ended up losing Game 5, and they did not look their best in Game 5 either.
It was a rough loss, and then you're not playing the next tournament, so it's like that is the last thing that people have been seeing on the big screens about you. That is the last time that we saw them, and I mean, as our most recent retired pro, Quinn, how much does that linger? Like, time has happened. A lot of things between then, that was 2 weeks ago, to now, where you get to have a best of one, you get to pick whatever draft you want, you get to have this fun in a group stage.
I mean, while I think that kind of series loss hurts you, at the end of the day, they're professionals, and I think they can bounce back.
All right, we'll see exactly where Falcons are powering up for themselves in this best of one against your Colt brothers. We got a Falcons Yakult draft underway. We've talked about it last time we saw them. It was an eventual grand finals loss for Falcons. Yakult also on a little bit of a loss streak for themselves here. So both of them wanting to start off Blastland 5 with a strong commanding win. I think that's the only thing that's going to make either of these teams feel good. If it's a back and forth, if it's not a clean game, maybe there is still lingering residual things, but what is going to happen is exactly how the draft might play out, and Naga Siren being let through.
Yeah, Naga let through, but also Centaur was the hero of the last tournament, right? I think at the end of the tournament it had like a 70% win rate, and it was like the most played or second most played hero. It was extremely popular due to its laning prowess, ability to globally help your team with Stampede. It really just become like pretty much a story of every single draft. So of course Falcons have identified that and now just taking it into their own draft here.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw Naga Siren against Centaur in that tournament, and I think it's interesting because, like, if your carry player plays things like Shadow Fiend or like